For a while now, I've been wanting to do a hike called Devil's Bridge in Sedona, Arizona. But it is a very popular trail. There's this really cool lookout with what looks like a bridge that you can walk across while someone's standing there taking your picture. And because it's such a photo op, it's not really what I want in a hike. It's not as peaceful and an escape away from society. It's just people taking pictures of themselves for a lot of it. But I think I found a way that I might have the trail to myself, or close to myself anyway. I'm gonna try to do it while the sun's down. Since I hiked Mount Whitney under a full moon, I think this might be doable too. There is almost a full moon tonight, and I think maybe a lot of people won't have the same idea. If you're thinking, okay, how are you going to do that? Well, I have a plan. First, if you're thinking, how are you going to deal with it being dark? I'll bring my headlamp as a backup, and I'll have the light on my phone as a backup to that. But we have something in our eyes called rhodopsin, which builds up over time, and it lets you see better in the dark, aka night vision. When you look at a light, it burns away, and that's why it hurts, like when you walk out of a movie theater into the bright light. But if you don't expose it to light and you let it build up, you can see really well in the dark. Actually, that's why nowadays sometimes headlamps come with a red light, because that is less harsh on your rhodopsin. Keeps your night vision going a little longer. If you're wondering, how is that safe? Right now it's only 6:30, so even though the sun's down, it's not like I'm going in the middle of the night, you know? I'll be out of here before 10 p.m. or something. Probably more like 9, actually. I did text my brother before the hike, and I'm going to text him when I get back, so he'll know if something's happened. Finally, if you're wondering how am I going to stay warm in the winter at nighttime, well, I am going to bundle up as much as I can, and I have a little bit of a secret weapon. I have been using these heated gloves by I've been using these heated gloves by SabotHeat, and they are so good. They came in a little carrying pouch. This is what they look like. They look like they should belong to a lineman that's working on the power lines in a blizzard or something. I ordered a size small, and this is how my hand compares to the glove. It's a really good fit. To turn it on, it's just this one button, and it can do 4 levels of heat. And it heats up within like 3 seconds. It's really fast. I've mentioned a few other times, I'm not an electricity person, but if you are, this battery lasts for 3,000 amp hours. Sounds pretty high to me. This is also made of genuine goat leather, so it's very, very soft, feels luxurious. It comes with a charging cord and 2 batteries. I just charged these up the other day, so I'm gonna take this battery. There is a pocket inside the glove that has a cord coming out of it. You attach that, put it in the pouch, zip it up, then you press this, comes on. The first mode is red, and then you just go on through. The heat comes up through the back of your fingers and on the back of your hand, even your thumb. It's like an unexpected heat that is just so helpful, especially on cold nights. But yeah, these have been keeping me really warm. They're such a treat for when I'm trying to go to bed in my van and it's too cold. I'm like, oh, I can just put on my heated gloves. Perfect. They are very comfortable. They feel very smooth, and there's so many good uses to them. If you're working outdoors, if you own a motorcycle and you know your hands have to go like this and the wind is hitting you. Also things like camping and hiking, snowboarding, skiing, any kind of winter activity. Thumbs up from me. These next scenes that I filmed in the dark look best on a screen with the brightness turned up. I think we're about to see the moon rise above those rock formations right there. How cool does that look? There is an OHV trail to the hike itself, 3.6 miles round trip. I just crossed paths with people on the trail that were leaving here, and they were kind of like, what are you doing? And it is definitely a weird thing to go for a hike in the dark. But I don't know, I've just been camping so many times where I've been in nature at night, and I guess I'm kind of just Ugh, this is gonna sound so braggy, but I'm just kind of more comfortable with it than the average person because of my experiences and pushing past fears I previously had. You know, if you're interested in this kind of thing, a really good book to read would be End of Night. I don't remember who it's by right now, but it's a good one. Oh, I just got to the first full beam of moonlight, and I can see the rock formations in the distance. This is so cool. This is, I forget the name of it. I think it's an agave or something. I've never seen a stalk this twisty. The others I've seen are just straight. Oh, you can see the stars in the camera. I saw this fork in the trail, so I looked at all trails. There's service here, so I'm following along. And this is the turnoff. Devil's Bridge, here we come. We're already a mile in. The moon is such a spotlight. So brilliant. Did you know wherever you are on Earth, if you hold out your arm and stick up your thumb, the moon is never gonna be bigger than your thumb from anywhere on Earth? Did you know that the moon has a gravitational pull on the Earth that's responsible for the tides in the ocean? I just think that's crazy. And without that, people say that evolution wouldn't have happened as quickly because the organisms living in the water got washed up on land, and then they, you know, became Neanderthals, and then they became human beings. It's cool to think about how ancient the moon is and how much it's changed the course of history. Starting to be more trees around me. Not tall one, but junipers, I think. Maybe 10 feet tall or so. Because of the trees, I'm in a little bit more of shadow now, but luckily I can still see where I'm going. The rocks stand out enough to be visible. Back in the moonlight, and check out these rocks. Some nicely placed stairs. Looks like a bit of a rock scramble coming up. Look how well you can see this gorge. It's beautiful. Even without the colors that would normally, you'd normally see the red rock and the green trees. But it's still so pretty. Little subdivision or something back there. Little neighborhood. This is amazing. I was just walking along. I wonder where it is. I look down. There it is. I can see where I am. Then I see the top of the trees. And then I see a bridge made of rock. Here we are. That was almost kind of creepy, like how that came out of nowhere. A big perk to not being here with anyone, The joy of discovering something is all yours. It did look pretty narrow from over there, so before I go all the way across, I'm definitely gonna make sure it's wide enough that I don't feel too risky out here. That must have been the most narrow section right there, and that wasn't even that bad. It's like over 8 feet across, maybe. Now, wasn't that just the coolest? I feel so lucky to have gotten this place to myself. I don't think if there were a bunch of people taking pictures here, I would feel self-conscious, and I don't know. I think if you're respecting nature and you're just going on a hike to take pictures, that's you're not doing anything inherently wrong. You know, some people, photography is their hobby. Some people, cool photos of themselves make them feel really self-confident, and that's important. But I never want to get to the point of like I'm just going somewhere because I want to film there, you know? That's just me though. As soon as everyday people could afford cameras, people have enjoyed photo ops. But now with Instagram and other social media, it's like you get competitive to see who could get the coolest photo op. I kind of wish we could take that competition away, because it's possible that people are just going to get the photo and then leaving and not respecting nature. The more people we get outside, that's a good thing, you know. Nature, I think, is a part of being human, and I hope everyone gets to appreciate it someday. At the same time, even if people are using leave no trace principles, it's still going to be different than if the lane was perfectly pristine, no one ever came there. Remember when I did this rock scramble on the way coming up? It's not very fun now. If I was doing this again, I would bring a trekking pole or two so I could have a handhold. I just saw one of the best shooting stars of my entire life. Normally, you think you see a shooting star? You probably did see a shooting star. But this one, I almost thought about trying to get out my camera so I could film it. It was going on for a few seconds. It was kind of yellowish too. Normally, you barely see anything, but I could tell that there was some color to this one. So cool. I think my thoughts were a little jumbled earlier, but basically what I'm saying is I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wanting to take pretty pictures of yourself. However, the more people we have out in nature, even if they are leaving no trace, then the environment is still going to be impacted somehow. So please, whenever you go out into nature, make sure you are doing the best you can to be respectful of the environment. Look up leave no trace principles if you don't know what that is. I know I could be coming across as a hypocrite because I do film myself all the time. I think of it as art, really, because just like a painting of nature or a book about nature, a video can inspire people. It can capture the beauty and preserve a memory. I try not to focus on going somewhere just because of how other people will see it and respond to it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just want to make sure I'm doing things for the experience of doing them, not the experience of how other people are going to react to them. I also worry that someone could happen upon one of my videos, miss all my messages about taking care of the land, and go out and ruin it. And I would hate to have that negative impact on the world. So, if you're watching this, now you know. And I know I'm not the perfect model of LNT sometimes. I'm just a person trying their best. What do you think about Instagram inspiring people to get out more? And photo ops? What are your thoughts? Wasn't that just the best? I love that hike so much. I've always appreciated the night sky, but now I feel even more in love with the moon and the stars and the moonlight. So cool. If going on a night hike is within your comfort zone, I highly recommend. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you next time. Bye. Just as I was pulling out, I saw somebody's lost dog. You think I should go pick it up and bring it to them?